What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumbass. Like and subscribe. Hype. This is another quick one. I was just listening to Shaan and Dirt, and they got somebody on there. I totally forgot their name. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't even finish listening to it, but they are into it. They're like 30 minutes into this argument about Steam on Helix. And I know I spoke about it before, but I gotta say it again because Shaan is adamant about it being bad. And this person is saying all the things that I think are true, right? For instance, I know I went through this before. I want to do it again because it's important for people to understand. Now, Shaan's argument is that I'm not talking about consumers. I'm talking about as a business. That is understandable to say that and to see that, but that's not what Asha Sharma is doing because Asha Sharma understands the business side. She is into acquisition. She is acquiring users. That's what she's that's her bag. That's what she do. So, in order to get more people on the Helix console, which would in turn bring them into the ecosystem in a way, it's like the opening the doors for them. They would allow the ability to play your Steam library on the Helix. Even me, I have a few games on Steam. If I had 100 million, if I had 500 games on Steam, and I was like, yeah, I haven't played a console since the N64. I mean, whatever, right? And then Helix comes out and it's like, oh, I can play my games on that, and some extra, but it's a no-brainer. Plus, if it's cheaper than the Steam machine, it's a no-brainer. And that's the whole argument. But Shaan is adamant about, I guess, winning the argument or whatever. And I understand his side of it. And he's right. But you have to take all of the things into consideration. You just can't say, no, we're not talking about PC. We're not talking about... Everything matters. You can't just be like, oh, we're just talking about the console. It's like, that's not how it works because this isn't PlayStation. This is Xbox. Xbox is literally a PC environment as well because Windows, they are all connected. So you can't do a one-to-one and compare it to PlayStation. How come PlayStation doesn't do that? How come they don't put Steam on PlayStation? It's not the same. PlayStation doesn't have an OS that's in 59 billion, devices across the world. PlayStation doesn't have, for lack of a better term, a monopoly on OS. I mean, it's not a monopoly because Linux is blowing up, but you get my drift. So you cannot compare Xbox and PlayStation in that respect. So PlayStation has their own problem because their ecosystem is limited by what they sell as far as hardware. That's why they're so adamant about having hardware sales because they got nothing else. They don't have PC like that, and they don't want PC like that. They could make a store on PC and be like boom and have a launcher on PC and be like blam, but they don't want to do that for whatever reason. But this argument about Steam being on Xbox, like I said, the access to Steam libraries, not the Steam store. That's the distinction. And any access to all your libraries on the Helix would be the best move for Xbox because it would bring all of the people who would not ever buy an Xbox. They would never ever buy an Xbox. But you say, yo, you got Steam? I'm gonna buy that. And then Shaan says, well, but they're not gonna spend money in the Xbox store. They were never gonna spend money in the Xbox store. That's the whole point. But they bought an Xbox and it came with Game Pass. And it's like, oh, I like Game Pass now. I'm gonna keep paying for it. That's cool. I like Game Pass. This is cool. That's how you get them. But Shaan don't see that. Shaan is like, in a way, he's kind of old school. I mean, I'm old school too, but I see, because they got me with Game Pass. I told that in other videos. I was like, I was just chilling, boop, 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 and they gave me Game. I was like, oh, Game Pass is nice. And then they took it away. I was like, oh, no, you can't. I don't feel, this feels incomplete now. I need a Game Pass again, and I went in and I subbed for it. So look, it's the way that Asha works. She's trying to get them Game Pass subs, and Game Pass is the hook. Steam library is the hook. There's many hooks that will hook these PC gamers, and they're all there, and they're all possible. And I think they're gonna do it. I think that as far as a business, if I was Microsoft, the business, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna put Steam on there, only the library, because all these PC gamers who will never buy an Xbox will buy our Helix, which is a Steam machine in disguise, basically, and it's way more powerful. It's so many different reasons why a PC gamer who is Steam, who wants to get a Helix, to throw under their TV in the living room, throw under the 98-inch Vizio in the living room, and that's what's up. That's the whole argument, and I don't see Shaan winning this argument. As far as like I said, encompassing all of the factors. If you're just gonna be like, oh no, we're talking about this little bit of the whole, no, that, I mean, yeah, you could win the argument on that respect, but that's not the whole equation. That's not the whole formula. That's not the whole situation. So you have to put all of the elements, all of the factors into this discussion, and then we can say, okay, that makes sense now. But anyway, I appreciate it. Subscribe, hit me in the comments below. Let me know what you think about that. Steam access to their game library on Helix. Is it good or bad? And the same goes with GOG and Epic and all that stuff. You know, no stores, but just the game library. I'm down. Let's go. That seems way more customer forward, and I don't see a negative, because like I said, Steam players, they're not buying an Xbox anyway. But this would trick them almost into buying. It would entice them to buy the Helix, which is an Xbox, by the way, but it's a Steam library player, and that's what's important to them. Anyway, I appreciate, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Till the wait.